Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to Loose Change in Love, starring yours truly, Terrence Too Cool Davis. Now, before I get started with the questions and the comments, there's something very important I'd like to bring to the forefront and address it. Therefore, when I do talk about it, you know exactly what it is I'm referring to, and that is a resume. Now, when you hear the word resume, the first thing that probably comes to mind is a sheet of paper that lists all of your credentials that you want to submit to an employer. In my opinion, being in a relationship with someone and having a full-time job are pretty much on the same level. I mean, if you're not producing for your job or you're not doing the things to help that company grow, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get fired or replaced. And the same rules should apply to a relationship. If you're not meeting my standards or your significant other's standards and their expectations, then what's the point of you being around? You can easily be replaced. And the way the economy is out there, nobody's trying to get fired. Trust me. Make sure your resume is up to par. 4 things that you should always look for in a resume. You want to check to make sure their background is clear. You want to make sure you have a list of their previous employers, what they've been doing before you met him, where were they working, how long did they work there, what kind of worker were they. You want to make sure that you have a thorough list of suitable references, and you also want to make sure that they can pass a drug test. That's 4. Resumes are very important because this will allow for you to get rid of the nonsense before the nonsense begins to occur. You don't want to wait 6 months to a year and realize that this person's resume is really not up to par. That's why you check it before you even consider them for employment. Now, the first question, why would a guy tell you that sex is not the only thing they want from you, but continue to ask you for sex and head? Well, you see, in most cases, if a guy is telling you that sex is not the only thing on his agenda, then he could be telling you the truth. As a man, I know that sexual desires arise frequently, some more than others. But if you're allowing yourself to be the woman to fulfill those sexual desires at his beck and call, then you're pretty much going to be the woman to fulfill his sexual desires at his beck and call. On the other hand, he could be gaming you. Maybe it is all he wants, but if you checked his resume and you reviewed it thoroughly, then you would know he's not a gamer, he's for real. That's why it's very, very pivotal that you check resumes before you even put them out there on the floor, before they even start working, before you even start giving them clock hours. Nobody should be allowed overtime unless their resume is up to par. You never want to be a naive Nancy. It's important to check that resume. Because, as a man, I understand that sexual desires arise frequently, some more than others. And if you're going to allow yourself to be the woman that he calls to fulfill those sexual desires, then you're going to be the woman he calls to fulfill his sexual desires. It sounds to me like you and this guy need to sit down and you need to talk to him and figure out what his clear-cut agenda is for the two of y'all. If y'all's situation hasn't blossomed and you're still the girl that he calls 2:30, 3 o'clock when he get out the club to slide by because it's convenient to him or because he was in the area after he left the club, and that's cool with you, then, that's up to you. But if this is not what you want, don't make yourself accessible 24/7. Cut that time in half. Make yourself accessible, let's say, 24/3.5. That's half of 24/7. Question number 2. How can you tell when a guy is ready to stop playing games and settle down with you, relationship-wise? That's a great question, but it's a tough question. This really depends on the guy and his readiness to commit to not only you, but commit to your feelings and your emotions. You don't want anybody to commit to you if they're not 100% into it, correct? Exactly. So, what I would say you need to do is 3 things you can do. Number 1, if you met this guy and he was always downtown and midtown, always on the scene, and 3 months later he's still always on the scene, 9 times out of 10 he's probably not ready for a relationship. So maybe it's time for you to kind of start cutting down on his hours and, start reviewing some more applications, because he's obviously not ready. Number 2, the honesty factor. And this is very important. The honesty factor is what's going to get you guys through from start to finish. From the time you meet someone, you should be upfront and honest about everything, because honesty is going to build a solid ground for you guys to build later on down the line. And before you guys can actually become, more than just friends, you have to be friends, right? That's why it's important from the time you meet that person, y'all should be friends. Y'all should be able to talk about anything. You should always be honest. That way, if you hit them with the honesty factor and you ask them, where do you stand? Are you ready to stop playing games? Are you ready to be in a relationship? He can be upfront and honest with you. Why? Because y'all are friends and y'all been honest with each other from day one. Honesty is key if you're looking to build a solid foundation with someone. So if you're not able to go to him and ask him honestly, then maybe he isn't your type to begin with. And finally, number 3, if he's still playing games and he's still playing games, then he's just not ready. Plain and simple. Question number 3. When men say you're a freak, is that code for I just want to have fun? Or do men think, damn, I really think I could be with this freak forever? You see, I'm going to be honest with you, because you know me, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But let's be honest, what man doesn't like a freak? I mean, really, for our generation, let's say 1982 to 1988, from what they showed us on TV, we all got a little bit of freak in us. But know your freaky limitations. No, check the resume. If his last employers, his last relationships, they wasn't really on that freaky stuff, then you just can't come out the woodworks on some other stuff. Minimize it. Bring it to a minimum. Don't be too freaky. The question I really want to know is, what kind of freak are you? I mean, when y'all finish doing y'all's do, does he look at you and kind of give you that, yeah, that was the bomb. You did your thing. If he give you that look, then you good. You a good freak. But if he give you that, what just happened? Like, are you serious? In real life, did you really just try to get me to do that, or were you really trying to do that to me? Too freaky. Stop that. Your sexual limitations are way out of whack. Calm down. You never want to be too freaky. You too freaky? No, I can't. I don't think I can see us being together, and I don't think I can say, damn, I could be with this freak forever. And I'm a freaky dude. But you got to know your dude's freaky limitations. Question number 4, and this is a good question if I ever heard one. Can you love someone but not like them? Well, I think you have to like someone before you can love them, unless you're related to them, because I got a lot of relatives that I really don't like, but I got mad love for them. So I hope that answers your question. This is Terrence Davis signing off. Loose Change of Love. You guys tune in next week. Same time, same place.